Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Midweek Radio Show. My name's Zachary Rogers, and I'll be your host for tonight. We've got a great lineup for you, including segments like local and national news, local and national sports, local and national entertainment, and then Club Corner, which is a new segment that we have. And we got it all here for you. And so, first up, we have Ayinde Roberts and Diamond Huskey talking about local and national sports. They're talking about BC Bridgewater basketball, what's been going on there. National sports, you got NFL. The Super Bowl was just happened Sunday. You got NBA. There's a lot of trades going on. The All-Star draft starts tomorrow. And you got UFC. There's multiple fights going on in the next couple weekends, and they'll go over that. And then also boxing. So here they are. How y'all doing?
Everybody. This is sports. As Zach had already said, we're going to be talking about a couple of big sports things. But first, we're going to get into our local sports. Got to talk about women's basketball, who are on fire. Congratulations, you guys. Women's basketball won their pink out game 62-43. You guys were on fire that game.
That's what we do.
Honestly, it was probably like the most exciting. This was my first women's game that I actually got to see.
Really?
And wow, like I was stunned. Like just absolutely, like you had me like leaping out of the bleachers. There was one time where I forget who it was, but they got a block, and you know how you get the little stutters. I was like, oh, I felt that.
That was me, by the way, who had the block. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, just throw it out there. But yeah, like we're on the roll. We're going good. You know, I love all the energy from the crowd, and like I love how Bridgewater is really supporting us because the last few years, like we've been rocky and like we've been through it, literally.
Yeah, and to see you guys turning up the way you guys are is like it's fantastic, and I hope to see wins upon wins upon wins.
Yeah, trying to be like the football team, man.
Right.
You gotta get a ring.
However, we also wanted to bring up men's basketball. I believe they're having a game right now, or they have a game today.
Yes.
But they believe they had a game against Ferrum, and they unfortunately lost, and they were outscored 12-5 in the last 3 minutes, which I think was that's not something that you want to do.
Yeah.
If you're if you're playing basketball, like it feels like this season I'm not gonna try and put the blame on particularly anybody, but it just seems like there's a lot of stuff that needs to be worked on in that team, and hopefully, you know, in later seasons we'll see a growth, and hopefully we'll get a lot of more W's than L's.
Yeah, definitely. And it's about playing the full 40 minutes of basketball, and I feel like that's what we all need to like incorporate, both the men's and women's basketball teams.
Right. And then finally, for our local sports, I got a shout out to the equestrian team. Bridgewater College IDA equestrian team got a perfect score in their home show, so got a shout out to them.
Yes, equestrian.
And now we get to our national sports, which, let's be honest, biggest story of the week was the Super Bowl. Kansas City Chiefs took down the San Francisco 49ers 31-20. This is Kyle Shanahan's second time blowing a double-digit lead in the Super Bowl.
Dang.
For this year, it was 10 points, but when he played against the Patriots with the Falcons, it was 25.
I would just like to apologize to everyone out there. I said the 49ers were going to win, not taking into account that Kyle Shanahan always blows a lead in the fourth quarter. So
hey, it's not his fault. It's just the Chiefs really came out and played. Patrick Mahomes got MVP. This is the first time he's the youngest player to get MVP in the Super Bowl and to be the youngest player to win MVP in his first year. So kudos to him. I think the Chiefs definitely deserve that win. I think the 49ers just played really sloppy at the end at the tail end of that game.
Yeah.
They couldn't seal the win.
You know, they were 5-0 from coming back from a 10-point deficit. They're 5-0, like crazy. I call them the comeback team. All year, that's what they've been doing. Every time they were down 10 plus, they're always coming back. They're the new comeback team. It used to be the Saints. I call them the comeback team, but now it's Kansas City Chiefs. They just take over. You know, they never give up. They always have that hope and that spark, like even at the end of the game when all hope is lost. Like they have that. I love that.
And shouts out to my man Andy Reid. Finally got his ring.
Yes,
and it'll be the second. And this is the second Chiefs Super Bowl ring in 50 years.
Jeez.
That's insane.
Yes.
So congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm going to admit I have a little bit of bias because the 49ers knocked out my team, the Green Bay Packers. Rip to the Packers.
Rip Tigers.
But not to take anything away from Jimmy Garoppolo, who showed that he can play.
Yes.
He can get there. He can get to the big game by himself. He doesn't need Tom Brady or the Patriots or Bill Belichick. But like again, he needs a coach that can seal the win. And I think going into the draft, I feel like he'll hopefully get a couple more weapons. Because I think even though he has Deebo Samuel, he has George Kittle, he's gonna need some more playmakers. I don't think Emmanuel Sanders is gonna be on the team for much longer. Same thing on the defensive side. I feel like they're gonna need more help on the secondary.
Definitely, yes.
And then, but moving on to NBA, just 6 minutes ago started the NBA All-Star Draft. NBA All-Star Weekend is coming up. You have your two team captains, LeBron James and Giannis Antetokounmpo. I think I got it right.
Yeah.
I feel like I got it right.
Yeah.
And if you look at the starters for this, some of the starters, like, this is insane. Like, you have Anthony Davis, Luka Doncic, Trae Young, Kemba Walker, Joel Embiid, my man, Kawhi Leonard, and this was shocking, Pascal Siakam. I mean, he's averaging 23 points a game, and he was 2019's Kia Most Improved Player, but, like, seeing him on an all-star starter list, like, above guys like Westbrook,
right.
like, it's weird.
Yeah, he's definitely come to show out this time.
And speaking of talking about LeBron James, we got to talk about the Lakers, who got their quote-unquote comeback game after losing to the Trailblazers. They played the Spurs, and they won. LeBron James, like, we talk about this guy being a great basketball player.
Yeah.
LeBron James, after the tragic passing of Kobe Bryant, he said he was going to carry on. He was going to carry on that legacy. Man splashed 5 straight times in under 3 minutes. He scored 36 points in beating the San Antonio Spurs 129-102. And still, like, I don't think it's fair to say, like, LeBron James is one of the best basketball players. Like,
yeah,
just
definitely.
period. Like, he is really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
And then you also have guys like Kyle Kuzma, 18 points. Anthony Davis also had 18 points. And, like, just come on.
Yeah.
They're leading their Western Conference right now. And it's probably going to be a battle between them and then their Eastern rivals in the NBA Finals, the Milwaukee Bucks, who topped the New Orleans Pelicans to remain first in the Eastern Conference. Just with the Toronto Raptors coming up close behind them, though.
Yeah.
Like, I think I've underestimated Giannis. He's great. I saw that block he had on Zion, and I was like, I'm done. I'm done with this kid. I'm done with this kid.
Yeah. I gotta give it to the Lakers though, man. Like, they're team bonding. Like, how, I've seen on Twitter of how they always, like, went to go grab him after he shot the last 3 or whatever. Like, that's the type, like, of teamship, like, that they portray, and that's the type I love and I wish to have on my team. We do have that, but, like, just, like, I don't know.
Like, if you feel like that it's more than a team.
Yes, definitely.
Like, it's just seeing guys like pop off on the bench whenever whenever they get a 3 or whenever somebody with LeBron dunks and you just got the doing the stomps and everything. I was like, they just having a great time.
Yeah, they're very close.
So Diamond, let me ask you something. Are you into combat sports?
No, not really.
Well, hopefully this will be something to change your mind. UFC, I gotta talk about UFC. I'm a big UFC fan. UFC 247's this Saturday, where you have one of the greatest fighters of all time, John Jones, putting his light heavyweight championship, on the line against the undefeated Dominic Reyes who is 12-0.
Wow.
I think I love John Jones. Dude is fantastic, but this is his first fight since he got knocked for violating the wellness policy. So he was suspended, and now this is his first fight. He was supposed to fight Cormier at UFC 200, and then since he failed the policy, they had to come in and then they had to get Brock Lesnar. So this will be one of his first fights back, and he's going up against a guy who's coming up. He's 12. The betting odds for the fight put Jones in favor to win. And if you look at some of the stats, like, he has Dominic beat in every category except for striking. striking accuracy, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
He's like Dominic barely edges out John Jones, but when it comes to takedown accuracy, just height, reach, everything, he's completely Jones. I feel like Jones is gonna win this fight, but also you never say never. The dude hasn't been in the octagon in a minute.
Maybe like as like an athlete, maybe this is his comeback game. He wanted to prove everybody that, hey, I'm still here. I'm still liable to do this and do that. Like I'm still gonna
how McGregor showed up Cerrone a couple weekends ago. I still can't get over that. 40 seconds. Yeah, that made me angry.
That's crazy. Like how many
that made me so mad.
How many people pay to go to these shows and these watchings and like just boom, knockout.
Right. So funny story. Me and a couple of my friends were actually gonna go up and watch the fight at Buffalo Wild Wings. The place was completely packed, so I'm thinking, oh man, this fight's gonna be really good. I'm gonna miss it. Turns out we watched it. It was only 40 seconds long. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, great.
Would have sat there for 4 hours waiting for a 40-second fight. I would have been mad. Hey, but got good wings though.
Yeah, definitely.
There's also elsewhere on the card. One of my sleeper favorites, Valentina Shevchenko, is defending her women's flyweight championship against Caitlin Chookagian. They're two relatively similar fighters, but I feel like this is going to go towards the champion's favor. I feel like she just has I think she's kind of a sleeper. She's really good on the ground, and that's what I appreciate. Like, people like it when people get knocked out, like, straight up, like, sleeping. But I feel like the ground game is much more technical. It's much more like, well, a fight. And that I feel like that's what you should want out of your UFC fight, not just, people getting hit and hit. And then speaking of people just getting hit and hit, I got to talk about my man Deontay Wilder, who's 2 weeks from Saturday. He's facing Tyson Fury in a rematch from 2018. Wilder Fury won. It ended in a split draw, which a lot of people were extremely, extremely upset about.
Wow. So
they have the rematch set for the 22nd. Deontay Wilder is undefeated. Still undefeated.
So who you got?
I don't know. Listen, Tyson Fury, he's for a dude his size, he is fast. Like, if you ever watch any of his fights, you can even go watch his fight with Wilder. He is quick with his jabs. So I don't know, but Wilder has a heavy arm. Like, I watched him fight this dude, and it was one hit, one hook, knocked out, gone, sleep. I'm sleeping with the fishes. I was making jokes like, who told this man to fight him? Wilder said in the interview during that fight, he said, this is the only sport you can kill somebody to get paid for, so why not use my right to do so? I'm like, why would you decide to fight this man?
Whoa.
But I can understand this one because it's obvious you get the draw, so you need a decisive victor.
Yeah.
And I just saw this earlier today, and I was actually really shocked. So we all know who Antonio Brown is.
Yes.
I'm not gonna.
I'm
just gonna call
fan.
him the clown.
I'm sorry.
He's a clown, but apparently, he's agreed to fight none other than Logan Paul. Of all people, Logan Paul.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know why Antonio Brown does half the things that he does. There's a lot. I remember all the tweets he was putting out when he got booted out of the NFL. He's a music maker now for some reason, and now he's gonna try to fight Logan Paul. Like, I guess he's trying to keep his name still relevant.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're Antonio Brown. You're sort of, kind of going. You're always going to be in the news because you're Antonio Brown, and now you're.
Yeah, you made that very stupid voice.
And I have to say, because Logan Paul put out a tweet, and he said, "I drop you faster than the Patriots," talking to Antonio Brown. Oh, that hurt. That one hurts.
Yeah, Antonio Brown just, I used to love him as a player, but he's definitely fell off the rim, way off the rim, and now you want to fight, like.
He is straight up a character.
Yes, definitely.
All right, that's all we got for sports. That was really great having a conversation with you about sports. This is the first time we've ever talked.
Yes.
So
I think we should do it more, you know?
You know what? I agree. I 100%
Definitely.
agree. All right, guys. See you later.
Thank you, Ayinde Roberts and Diamond Huskey, just talking about especially like Bridgewater, how well the women's basketball team is doing right now, and how poorly the men's team is doing. But I'm sure they'll get up there. I'm sure they'll get up there. I'm personally kind of upset that the 49ers did not pull out the victory because I was riding them high. Thought they were going to do well, but oh well. You know, Kyle Shanahan, we'll get him next time. But next up, we have news, local and national. We have Hannah Honeycutt, Isaac Miller, and Cheylyn Grant coming in to talk about just local news, talking about just the JMU's head coach announced for his addition to football coaching staff, and talking also about like the Virginia House passing a bill of capping insulin copays at $30. For national news, we have Trump has been like acquitted of his 2 impeachment charges, and then just about the whole State of the Union address and Pelosi, and we have all that for you as well as the coronavirus. And how y'all doing?
Cheylyn. I'm Hannah.
And I'm Isaac.
All right, to start off with some local news. So I don't know if you guys know who Bridgewater's secondary coach is, but Eddie Whitley, he just got hired as part of the new coaching staff at JMU, and he's going to assist Kurt Signetti as part of his coaching staff, and he's going to work specifically with safeties. And Whitley actually used to play at Tech during his college career, and according to Signetti, he really thinks that this is going to be a good addition to the team, and he's excited for who he's going to recruit in the future. And also he said that as a young coach, he's been making really good progress here at Bridgewater, and overall they're just excited to work together at JMU. What do you guys think about that? Are you guys into football?
I actually work with the athletic department, so I get to work with the football a lot, and that's actually pretty interesting watching football. I've actually always been a fan, so.
Oh man, okay. How do you feel about football?
Yeah, I enjoy football. And I think this is going to be a really great opportunity for Eddie because he's moving from D3 school here at Bridgewater. Now he's coaching at D1.
Yeah.
So this is a lot bigger spotlight for him, and hopefully a great opportunity he can take advantage of.
Yeah, I personally know nothing about football, but I think that's just important to bring up. Go ahead, Hannah.
Virginia House passed bill capping insulin copays at $30. House Bill 66 passed in Virginia's General Assembly as of Monday.
98-1.
Now the bill must be passed by Virginia's Senate and signed into the law by Governor Ralph Northam. If it becomes a law, the copay for insulin will be capped at $30 for a 30-day supply. The average yearly cost of insulin is, in 2016, for someone with type 1 diabetes, with $5,705. This doesn't include the price of rebates. Also, pharmaceutical companies annually raise the price of drugs to offset rebates.
Yeah, so like honestly, this is going to be really good for people who have diabetes because insulin is expensive. I've literally seen people at CVS's like here in Virginia, because I'm from here, where they're like, I'm sorry, like, can I please just get this insulin just this month? Like, I'll pay next month. And then CVS is like, no, I can't give you this medication unless you pay. So now with it only being $30, people typically spend $5,705 a year on insulin. In Virginia, you're looking to pay around $360 a year. So that's a major fraction. And that's going to be really good for people's health too here.
Yeah. No, I definitely get it. One of my family members has diabetes, and thank goodness that she has a very good insurance that covers it, but not a lot of people are lucky enough to have insulin, and it was crazy. Our family was talking over the numbers, and it's so sad that something that is needed to help basically live, you can't, it's so expensive. Yeah. It's so sad.
Yeah. And so moving on to some national news now, turning to the impeachment that has finally drawn to a close today. As of earlier this afternoon, Trump has been acquitted of both of his impeachment charges. Both of the votes were nearly party line, the only exception being Mitt Romney voted in fellow Republicans, breaking with his fellow Republicans on the first article of impeachment, which was abuse of power, which alleged that Trump used his position to try and coerce the country of Ukraine in order to get a favorable political outcome in the upcoming election. However, the second article for obstruction of Congress was not passed. It followed a purely party line vote, with every Republican voting against it.
I'm kind of happy he's not getting impeached because next in line is Pence, and Pence is not much better, maybe even worse than Trump. So I'm glad that he's going to stay in office, as unpopular as that sounds. What do you guys think about it?
Personally, I kind of agree with that. I think, at least this is mostly based on my personal politics, but Donald Trump, he's a lot more volatile than Pence, I would say. Pence, I think, would represent a bit more of a quote-unquote normal presidency. However, policy-wise, I would say this is a fair bit more conservative than Donald Trump, and for me personally, that is a turnoff. So I am kind of happy to see, at least on that front, that Trump did not get removed.
Yeah.
Another unpopular opinion, even if you consider, however you guys feel about this or not, I'm not trying to get bipartisan whatsoever, but I feel personally, through my opinion, I feel like he's been not as bad as everyone talks about. I think he's done, everyone was talking about how he was going to make a business, but instead I think he hasn't done as bad as everyone has said he has. And I think he's been beneficial for a lot of economic reasons. So I'm not too upset about that.
Yeah, and if anyone is, look, re-election is coming up, so make sure to go out to the polls and vote in November of 2020, please.
Right, no matter how you feel about whether you support him or not, go vote.
Yes, please.
That's the one voice you get in our government. Use it.
All right, so the Iowa caucuses, Pete Buttigieg, is that how you say it? How do you say his last name? Buttigieg. Holds a slim lead over Bernie Sanders in the Iowa Democratic caucus, with each having 26.72% and 24.36% of the standard delegate equivalent, respectively. As of now, 85% of the precincts have reported. Also, there was a delay in the reporting of the caucus results due in large part to a new appointment used to report the results to the state party. Is this an app? Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's an application, not an appointment. Wrong abbreviation. But the app, which the name hasn't been released publicly, was developed by Shadow Incorporated, specifically for the purpose of reporting caucus results. An Iowa Democratic Party spokeswoman, Mandy McClue, said there were inconsistencies in the reporting of 3 sets of results, but that the underlying data and paper trail is sound. Also, some caucus organizers tried to call in the results over the phone, which had previously been how the results had been reported, but faced holds of an hour or more trying to reach the state party. I was seeing this all over Twitter and all over the New York Times. I had no idea what this was about. Wow. Wow. That's kind of crazy. That's not good.
No, this is essentially worst case scenario as far as running an election or a caucus in a state. This is about as bad as it gets. Just having raw numbers but not being able to put them out we're at this point, we're 2 days out from when caucuses ended, and we still only have 85% reporting. And that's pretty unprecedented given how things have usually gone.
Wow, and I'm not going to apologize for this, but underlying data and paper trail is sound sounds really vague. Like, that's basically just saying something without saying anything as to what the data really says.
Yes. No background or proof about it. So. Yeah. All right. So we're going to jump into probably the third or probably the first most talked about thing this week and the past January. If you know what I'm talking about, it's the coronavirus.
It's Corona time.
Yes. All right. This is in the U.S. There are now 12 confirmed cases of the coronavirus in the U.S., with the most recent being diagnosed in Wisconsin today. Other states that are confirmed are California, Arizona, Washington, Illinois, and Massachusetts. More than 24,000 have been infected, and at least 490 people have died globally. I know, a lot of people. According to estimates by the World Health Organization, 1 of 50 people who get the disease will die. hundreds of Americans who will be in the city with, how do you pronounce this?
Wuhan.
Wuhan. Okay. Where the outbreak originated, have been brought back into the country on flights organized by the government. These people are being quarantined on military bases to help prevent the spread of the virus. The State Department is planning 1 or 2 more flights on Thursday, but have no more planned in the future. The virus is driving down world oil prices thanks to China facing reduced air travel, transportation, and manufacturing. China currently buys 13% of all oil production produced yearly. West Texas immediately crude key oil benchmark was at the lowest price in over a year, Tuesday at $49.61 a barrel. So, what do you guys think about that, just before we move on to the international of the coronavirus?
A pandemic affecting oil prices, that's a correlation I did not think would happen with China. Wow, that's actually really surprising. But okay, I'm personally not too worried. That's only a 2% chance of dying. That's nothing.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, it's still early. You know, there's a lot we don't know about this disease, but given what's going on now, the main threat that it possesses and the reason that it's scaring so many people is just because of how infectious it is. But to put it in perspective, the common flu killed 10,000 people in the U.S. every year. So, looking at it like that, 490 people dying globally. Not quite as bad.
Okay, wait. It's January. Okay, we just turned into February.
Yes, I mean,
That's
for
true.
the fact that it's like all those memes where you see 2020 is going to be great, and then here everything that starts hitting you in 2020, it's like, oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, it's
Definitely been a surprise, but definitely have not been the beginning that I think 2020 was expected, as every year it normally happens, but hopefully it gets better than this. And it definitely, knock on wood, it doesn't scare me as much as Ebola did a couple years ago.
Yeah.
That one definitely scared the living daylights out of me. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to die. And then here I am still here, so we're fine. But I'm definitely, I think we're a lot more equipped to fight this.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely not as scared, knock on wood, as I was with the Ebola virus.
Yeah, it's interesting that you mentioned Ebola too, because that's kind of one of the big differences between Ebola and this is that Ebola as a disease is horrifying, absolutely terrible. You know, with the bleeding from just about every open pore in your body to vomiting, diarrhea constantly. Ebola was horrible. It still is horrible. It still affects people in Africa to this day.
Yeah.
But no, so the coronavirus certainly doesn't seem as severe. But it's definitely, just given how fast it can spread, it's definitely, with relatively good reason, put a good scare in a lot of people.
Yeah. And with the coronavirus, Chinese scientists are beginning to find success with a new approach for treating patients. Get this, an antiviral drug to treat the flu mixed with an anti-HIV drug. The antiviral drug used in Russia and China called Arbidol, paired with darunavir, which is the anti-HIV drug, according to Changjiang News. A state-backed newspaper in Wuhan. Researchers have yet to specify how many patients they've treated. However, it's kind of too soon to test the effectiveness, and there's no proven cure and no treatment yet, but it's on the way. Also, China's starting to clamp down on the media coverage in Wuhan. They're getting really upset with journalists going in and reporting on the coronavirus because the Chinese kind of like to keep things on the down low.
Yeah, and this is definitely not on the down low.
No, the CCP is doing a bad job at covering media coverage. Come on.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
All right. And with that being said, please do the basics. Please wash your hands. Don't follow the 5-second rule. Leave it and drop it. Take your daily vitamins. You know, if you really feel it's necessary, then get a little mask to cover yourself so you don't get this airborne virus. And you know what? If you get it, maybe by the time you get it, there'll be a treatment for it.
Hopefully you don't get it though. Don't aim to get it just to be like, oh, let's see if they can test it. No, definitely not what we're going
I mean,
for.
keep in mind, there's only 12 cases in the U.S. right now, so unless you plan on traveling to Wuhan or anywhere else in China anytime soon, you have very little to worry about as it stands now.
And as we know, just stay away from Wisconsin. that's one of the main ones. And the other ones I mentioned before, stay away from those states. They will be fine. So.
All right, thanks guys for listening, and here going on to the next segment.
Well, thank you, Hannah Honeycutt, Isaac Miller, and Cheylyn Grant, just for the local and national news. I know, specifically like coronavirus, it's been like a and global pandemic. People are worrying about. I don't think it will be like it's necessarily a big deal, but it's good to keep an eye on it. Next up, we have on Club Corner, we have Justin Rogers, my brother, and a good friend of mine, Aiden Fennelly. They're talking about just his specific club, which is Frisbee. So we're talking about that right now. Hey, what's up, guys? How's it going?
Good, doing good. Hope you're doing well as well, my brother Zachary Rogers.
Hey, Zacharias.
Hello, hello. Well, again, as Zach said, this is Club Corner, where we talk about different clubs that are on campus. Last week, we talked with TJ about the Music Production Club, and this week, we're going to get outdoors a little bit, and we're going to talk about the Ultimate Frisbee Club here with my friend Aiden. Aiden, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. How about you, Justin?
I'm doing fantastic. You know, semester's getting going. We're in February. Can you believe it?
It's flying by already.
It
Can't believe
it seriously is. But you know what's weird? In February, it was still nice outside. I couldn't 2 60-degree days in a row. Could not believe it at all.
I know. We've been having some really good weather recently. Enough to get outside and play some Ultimate Frisbee there.
Oh,
Huh?
Ultimate Frisbee. And that's what we're here to talk about now, the Ultimate Frisbee Club. So again, you're part of the Ultimate Frisbee Club. What is your position with the Ultimate Frisbee Club?
So my position with the Ultimate Frisbee Club is I am the vice president of the club itself. So I run the more day-to-day pickup games that we have going on during the weeks. And when it comes to tournament play, I'm looked at as more of an assistant captain to our president, Jacob.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. So how long have you been with the club before you were a leader for the club?
So I started playing first semester, freshman year, first week, went out there, had a blast, and then I became leadership at the end of my sophomore year. I became vice president and Jacob became president, so we've had a really good connection since then, trying to run the club smoothly.
Nice, nice. So you were talking about during the week you have pickup games. So what is a normal week as far as like pickup games, or maybe you guys have some practices or something? Because I've been a part of Ultimate Frisbee. I kind of know what it's like. But for people who don't know what Ultimate Frisbee is like, tell them a little bit about what a normal week looks like when the weather's nice.
Yes, when the weather is nice and we have enough people that come out. Usually how it works is that Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, in the afternoon after classes, we have like a pickup game going on. It might be an actual real game where we play 5v5 or 7v7. Or we might be playing a version of Box, which is a smaller game of Frisbee that we can play with 3 people even.
Okay.
Sometimes during the week, though, we might have a tournament coming up that weekend or the next week that we feel like we should really prepare for, or we have a scrimmage.
Okay.
So we might run some drills with our coach, Andy. Andy's huge in the community, former Bridgewater student, alumni.
Okay.
Still comes back, helps us out.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's sweet. So what days do you usually have that, and at what times, or is that not figured out until like everybody's schedules are right, or how does that usually work for people who might want to join the club?
Right. So right now we're sort of in a weird transition period where it's at the still beginning of the semester a little bit. You know, we took our first exams this past week for people that are still taking classes. And then we sort of try to get people out when we can, figure out schedules. One of the main communication things that we actually do is we have a Facebook group, which is Bridgewater Ultimate Frisbee. On there, we try posting when we have our weekly games and other special announcements like tournaments, practices, stuff like that.
Nice. So if you're interested in the Bridgewater Ultimate Frisbee Club, please go on Facebook and look up what they got going on.
Right, you can request to join the Facebook group. We'll put out as much information as possible. We are totally transparent, as you can tell. Definitely, you know how many posts
Oh
I
yeah,
post on
no,
there.
so many posts on there, but it's a good thing though to have transparency between the leadership of a club and then the people that are actually in the club, so that nobody's really in the dark with this club.
Right, yeah. Nobody's in the dark. Fun fact, you took the Frisbee class, so you know
Yep.
that. So first rule of Frisbee is spirit of the game.
Yeah.
Really, have fun.
Oh yeah.
So we're all just about having fun. That's why we want to be as upfront and honest as possible.
Okay.
And just really, come out there and enjoy yourselves. That's what Frisbee is all about.
All right, what is one or two memories that are your favorite from your pickup games?
Oh, from the pickup games.
Pickup games.
Ooh. My very first memory I have, I was playing freshman year, first time out there. Couldn't really throw a Frisbee, but I was relying on my football skills to be a receiver and catch Frisbees. And there was one pass that the old president Josh threw me, and I tried catching it, and I missed it.
Oh,
And it
man.
launched up into the air, and I had to run under it and dive and grab it again.
Oh my gosh, that's fantastic.
Yeah. And there's many other memories like that. Tournaments, especially. A lot
definitely.
of tournament memories. Like this past year, we went to a tournament in Richmond. I got to score a point in front of my mom and my sister. It was good memories. We beat Richmond, I believe, and then lost to VCU by 1 point, or
Oh, man.
other way around.
Yeah.
It was still a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And then another tournament last year, junior year, where we were at JMU, local tournament.
Yeah.
They had Illinois State come down, who was at the time ranked 9th in the country, and we ended up playing them and beating them.
Wow. I mean, y'all, and to me, I mean, even just being in the club, but also kind of like at the outside looking in a little bit, it seems like y'all are super competitive. And even when it comes to your pickup games and looking at what that looks like, and you were talking about the spirit of the game, how does it look when you do have a lot of people that are super competitive, especially in pickup games, where like it doesn't really matter too much and just a bunch of competitive people kind of going at it? What does that look like to be competitive, but at the same time, like, this is just a game. We're out here to have fun. What does that look like for you guys?
For us, it's really a matter of knowing, like, when to, get down to it, get really serious, and also when to have fun. And pickup games, really, for the most part, they're really chill. We're just there to play around, have fun, get some exercise during the week,
Yeah.
It's kind of exhausting sitting in a chair all day, so we just want to run around a little bit,
Exactly. Just get some energy off, and especially it's a nice time to, like, for me at least, it's like getting exercise without, like, feeling like you're getting exercise kind of thing, Just getting out there and having some fun with some really awesome people.
Right, that's really what it is. I've made a lot of friends like you, your brother over there. Definitely friends that, like, I will definitely talk to for the rest of my life and feel great having met you guys. And there's, like, so many other people just like that you meet through Frisbee. And I've heard so many stories, even from professors, other Ultimate Frisbee players, of, like, similar instances where they meet people that they, talk to for the rest of their life.
Yeah. And so you were talking about the ES class, which
yes.
I took last semester, and you took so your junior year, you took it fall semester. So again, for those who don't know, so there is a exercise science class, which is Ultimate Frisbee, that Krebs teaches, correct?
Yeah, Krebs is the advisor to the Frisbee Club also, so, kind of goes hand in hand.
And Krebs knows his stuff. Like, he seriously knows his stuff
yeah, he
about
does.
Ultimate Frisbee. And he can play, too. He doesn't just have the knowledge.
Yeah, he might say he's an old man, but don't listen to him.
He could still play. I remember when it was last year, junior year, where like you were having like the Ultimate Frisbee quote unquote draft for intramurals, and like everyone passed on him, and just like his knowledge was so good to our team, even though we never played championship game.
And I know that's something that still haunts me to say, but yeah, with that draft, that was exactly what I was thinking. Brain like Krebs, even though he was a little banged up at the time, had a hurt knee, couldn't really do too much, but his knowledge of the game is just unbelievable. Like, it's definitely something that will improve everybody, no matter who you are. It's a lot of experience from his days of playing, and even from his knowledge through what he teaches in the class.
Yeah. So again, going back to the ES class, what does that look like? Just as somebody who's taken the class, but also somebody who has helped taught the class as well with Kreps. What does that class look like, especially for people who maybe just need an ES activity and like, oh, Ultimate Frisbee might be fun. Like, what does that look like?
Right. So with the exercise science class, there's it's split up into really two parts of it. You have your rules section where you go through the book. You read 3 or 4 sections, a quiz.
Okay.
3 quizzes,
Yep.
I'm pretty sure,
Yep.
if that was right.
Yeah, about 3 quizzes.
Right. And then you'll have your outdoors part. So to start, he'll start you with throwing backhands, which is the most normal Frisbee throw for those that don't know.
Yeah.
And then you'll slowly but surely transition to more advanced throws like a forehand or a flick, as we call it,
Right.
when you're ready. And then we sort of get transitioning into games where we just let you guys start playing at first, just get a feel for the game, get a feel for how everything runs in the game. And then once we've played like 5 or so games, Kreps and I, when I was helping out the class, we would sort of try to advance the more technical knowledge of the game on the field with cuts, catching, defense even, showing how to properly mark, which is defending the thrower, and how to force people. But if you're coming into the class with no knowledge, it's okay.
Yeah.
You're going to learn about Ultimate Frisbee. You're going to learn how to play. You're going to have a blast doing it. As long as you try your hardest, or just really however much you want to try, as long as you try it's going to be a fun class for you and really easy. Kreps will want you to perform to the best of your abilities.
Right. And it's the same thing with the club too as well, right? So you don't have to have any knowledge Ultimate Frisbee whatsoever to be a part of the club.
That's right. Coming out of high school, I played only football throughout high school and baseball and basketball, but I get here and I don't even know how to throw a Frisbee. I could barely throw a Frisbee like 3 feet, honestly. But I come in here and I figure out, hey, I can actually catch a Frisbee and then give it to somebody else that can throw that's like 5 feet away from me.
Right.
That's fine. And then slowly but surely you start developing your throwing the more and more and more you practice.
Right.
And the more you are with people who have experience with the game. Like me, my president, Jacob, our coach, Andy. Really, any of the seniors, even you. You have a lot of insightful knowledge to the young players. Like Zach. Zach came in not really knowing too much about Frisbee.
Oh, yeah.
But he knew football, so he could apply some of his football knowledge like I did to play Frisbee, and it's really helping him out.
Yeah. So if you are someone who's not currently in the club, but you might be interested, or you just want something to do, kind of get your mind off school and everything, what are some of the reasons, if somebody asks you, why should I join this club? What are some of the reasons why you think people should join this club?
Ooh, that is a really good question because there's a lot of answers there.
Just give them to me. Give them to me.
Right. I mean, just going back to one of the first few points, it's just a ton of fun. The atmosphere that you're around is so great. It's constructive. That's what you're there to do. You're there to build up your skills, there to build up relationships with people and have a blast. If you're looking for a little bit of cardio in your week, that's perfectly good too. You can come out 1, 2, 3 days or 4 days since we started doing it on the weekends too.
Right. Yeah.
And even if you don't know the knowledge of the game, it's very easy to learn. We will teach you. You will learn. You'll pick it up. It's a very simple game.
Yeah.
Even you have to admit that.
Oh, yeah. No, it's a lot more complicated as it really is when you watch people play it, but the more knowledge you get, the easier it gets to play it.
Yeah, exactly. And in my opinion, one of the best things is that it's not really you have to commit to anything like super long term. Like if you do want to come out for a day, a week, that's perfectly fine.
Oh, it's really chill. It is something I would say that because like I'd never really felt tied to it, because if there's like a Monday or Wednesday where I have to do something, I don't like feel bad because I don't go, because I just can't go. Ultimate Frisbee is one of probably the most flexible clubs on campus.
Right. And even if you just want to come to the pickup events, that doesn't mean you have to come to the tournaments either.
Right. Yeah.
you can be as competitive as you want, be as involved as you want in the club.
Yeah.
There's not really too much commitment, too much stuff tying you down, as you said.
Exactly. Well, thank you, Aiden, for being a part of Club Corner. I'm excited to see what Ultimate Frisbee looks like this semester. Hopefully you get some cool, awesome people that will come and join it this semester.
Right. Thank you, Justin, for having me.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
Thank you, Justin and Aiden. Thank you for just talking about Frisbee on Club Corner. I know I am a part of the Frisbee Ultimate Frisbee Club, and I enjoy every moment of it, just soaking up the knowledge of everyone who's a senior or who's graduated, and I just enjoy just learning from them and also just like increasing my skills and knowledge. And I just want to remind y'all, you are listening to Midweek Radio Show on bcvoice.org. And next up, we have entertainment with Adam Lorfink and Joe Caron. They will be talking about all the trailers that were during the Super Bowl, Black Widow, 007, Fast and Furious, stuff like that. And also just the Disney Plus commercials, like the Marvel series coming out. And also the halftime show for Super Bowl. And so here we go. Hey guys, how's it going?
What's going on, guys? What's going on, Bridgewater?
How's it all going?
I'm Joe.
I'm Adam.
And tonight we're going to talk to you guys about some entertainment, everything that's going on, movies, TV, obviously the Super Bowl, which is a big one. We're going to start out with something that's coming up on this coming Sunday. That's the Academy Awards. That's where people win Oscars. That's Academy Awards. Those are movie related. So, in terms of nominations for Best Picture, we got Ford vs. Ferrari, The Irishman, Jojo Rabbit, Joker, Little Women, Marriage Story, 1917, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Parasite. The only one of those that I've seen is, I've seen The Joker and I've seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I haven't seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I saw Joker. Joker, I love that movie.
Yeah.
I thought that was a great movie when it came out.
It was a very, very well directed film.
Yeah.
Obviously the acting by Joaquin Phoenix is some of the most authentic and committed acting that I've ever seen.
Yeah, he's known for getting like really into his
getting
roles
into
and
character
stuff.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, that's also it's got an all-star cast. Obviously, you got Leo, Brad Pitt, Margot Robbie.
And it's like the 9th movie of Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah,
and he's known for making
blockbusters.
So.
Definitely. We'll see how that pans out. And then, in terms of who might get Best Director, it's Bong Joon-ho for Parasite, Sam Mendes for 1917, Todd Phillips for Joker, Martin Scorsese for The Irishman, and Quentin Tarantino for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I think that's really interesting. That's it's not necessarily surprising, but Scorsese and Tarantino are both nominated this year. They've had both such long careers, and they've made some of like the best known movies in the past 30-40 years.
Especially Quentin Tarantino. He's a very prominent household name.
Yeah,
with like
definitely.
the Kill Bill movies, the Pulp Fiction. He's known for making cult classics.
Yeah, so. Definitely. If looking at those two, you might say they're like the Brady Manning of directing. I don't know if that's a stretch or not, but and then Parasite. It's not a very well known it's like if you asked a random person, hey, have you seen Parasite? They'd probably say no, but it's in nominations for like all of the Academy Awards categories.
Wow.
The plot is there's like two families, and it's basically just how they interact. So I think personally I'll definitely give it a watch. But
yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
if it's doing that good,
yeah. That's what's about to happen on Sunday, February 9th. Tune into the Academy Awards. And so what do we have in terms of upcoming Marvel and Disney movies?
So when it comes to the upcoming movies that are coming out, we have Black Widow, which is very long awaited. It's been people have wanted Black Widow movies since the moment Avengers came out, and even Iron Man 2 when she first appeared. People wanted this movie. In the movie, there shows Black Widow's family trying to fight against her past of the KGB.
Okay.
It's gonna have her family with the Red Guardian. It's her father, played by David Harbour.
Okay.
I think that's how you pronounce his name.
David Harbour?
Yeah,
The guy
David
from
Harbour.
Stranger Things, Hopper?
And Hellboy.
Okay.
He's playing the new Hellboy.
So that's her father?
Yeah.
So like how do you know this? Like
From the trailer, it shows them all sitting together as a family.
Okay.
And obviously, he's significantly older.
Yeah.
Than the rest of them.
Okay.
So, and then Red Guardian is also a long-awaited person to come into the MCU.
Yeah.
He's a comic book favorite. A lot of comic readers know who he is. They like who he is.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see how they continue that, because I really hope they continue him in the MCU.
Okay.
And eventually, there's a comic series that came out with the heads of the certain countries, or like the leaders of them. Not the leaders, but the main heroes of them, like Captain America. Wolverine became like Captain Canada, I think. There was Captain Britain. It was those kinds of heroes, so formed a team.
Yeah.
So I hope if they do that, they start bringing those types of characters in, especially with Disney Plus with the new MCU series.
Yeah.
Bring that in. That'll be amazing.
Okay. And do we know who the other characters are? Because I know it was like Florence Pugh was in there, Rachel Weisz was in the trailer.
Yeah.
Like, do we?
Rachel Weisz is playing Black Widow's mother.
Okay.
Black Widow isn't a character I know a whole lot about to know what her title is.
Yeah.
But the whole family, they're all heroes, assassins, those types of things. So they're pretty awesome family.
Yeah.
So, but on the topic of pretty awesome assassins and spies, we also have the trailer for 007, No Time to Die, coming out. And from the looks of the trailer, it kept showing flashes of all of his big bads from the previous movies.
Okay.
So I wonder what kind of role they're gonna play in this. And it seems so far that with it, they're all trying to expose 007's big secret. And I haven't seen the 007 movies, so I don't know if the secret's already been revealed, and just the rest of the 007 world doesn't know.
So that would be a big secret tying like all.
Yeah,
all,
that's
like,
what I'm anticipating.
Going back to like the Sean Connery and like the old ones like that.
I think so.
Okay.
I think so, because I don't know if the new 007 movies have come out with Daniel Craig as like a reboot of the original series. I don't know, because I've never seen them.
Well, I think that Daniel Craig's version is a little bit different. It's a different timeline, but it does bring in like certain aspects to like from the old Bonds. So it's kind of a reimagine of that.
Okay.
But, yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah, but this movie is going to be like from all the past. I think this is his 4th or 5th one.
Yeah.
So it's going to bring all of that to a close, and hopefully that will like usher in the new Bond that's been revealed. I can't remember her name, but she was in Captain Marvel. So, yeah.
Brie Larson?
No, not Brie Larson. Can't remember her name, but she was. Gosh, why can't I remember her name? But she was a side character, and now she's gonna be the new face. She's gonna be the new Bond for like the next series.
Captain Marvel's old friend from the flight school.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. She was a good act. She was good in that. I think I've seen her in a few other things. She was pretty good in. So that's an interesting.
So this is like completely confirmed. Oh, it's Maria Rambeau.
Oh
Maria
yeah.
Rambeau. So that's the next Bond. So this is confirmed that this is the last Daniel Craig Bond movie.
I would assume so.
Okay.
But
This is officially his last one.
Okay. Yeah.
well, he's done a lot of them.
Yeah, he has. He's done a good job.
There's also.
So moving on to Fast and Furious.
Yeah, with another long-winded series. Fast and Furious. It's
involving cars.
Yeah,
and
involving cars and a lot of
explosions
unrealistic
and testosterone.
Yeah, Fast and Furious for me, it was always something that I've like grew up watching with like my mom and my family and stuff. It's always been like me and my mom's thing to go see the Fast and Furious movies. So I'm really excited for it as like a lifetime fan of it. I'm really excited for it, but they're throwing a lot of curveballs in this movie.
Yeah.
Like they added that Dom Toretto now has a long lost brother, and played by John Cena.
I feel like he's already been in Fast and Furious.
Yeah,
at
right.
some point.
I mean, he might as well have been, but they're adding a lot of curveballs in this.
They're just gonna go down the list of like the whole WWE.
Right,
put everyone
eventually.
in there.
Yeah, right there they had The Rock in there for a few things, but no, now and they also are bringing back Han, who died a few movies ago. I don't know how they're gonna have him show back up perfectly alive and well.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, because he was killed by
Was
Shaw.
that the one where they're on the plane, it's going down the runway?
No.
For a really long time. Okay. Yeah.
No, he was the one. I believe he was introduced originally in Fast 5.
Okay.
He was introduced, and then it kind of left off, and he wasn't seen again for a bit. And then it showed once they brought in Shaw coming in. Shaw killed Han, and that was how they showed his expertise in it.
All right. Yeah. I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Well,
So moving on.
We also have some mentioned movies and series that are coming out. A SpongeBob movie is coming out. Keanu Reeves is in there as like a tumbleweed.
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg's in there at some point. They're trying to find Gary.
Hey, I mean, the casting, they did a good job.
Yeah, right. Clearly, obviously, they got Keanu Reeves.
Can't deny that.
Man's in everything these days. But they also have Sonic, which is coming out Valentine's Day. Glad they redid the animation. Think that's a little bit of a weird Valentine's Day movie. Hey, babe, you want to go see Sonic?
Yeah.
I don't know, but
so romantic.
They also have a Quiet Place Part 2 coming out.
I'm really excited for that.
I haven't seen A Quiet Place 1. I can't find it on anything, but I really want to see it because I heard it was so amazing.
It was really good.
And then they also have on Amazon Prime Hunters coming out. I think it's coming out near the end of February, I believe. Hunters it's about it's based off the true story of people when Nazis came over to America. They started embedding themselves into certain parts,
and it's about the people who were hunting the Nazi spies.
And they were like, there was like this black team that went through and started hunting the Nazi spies, hunting Nazis, and there was a book written off it, and that's what the TV series. And that looks really cool.
That's
team's led by like Al Pacino. Or something.
Is that a Jordan Peele production?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, I mean, he's come out with nothing but amazing pieces. So, high expectations for that.
And then we also have the long-awaited Disney Plus trailers. We have the show that the commercial that over during the Super Bowl that showed all three of the main series coming out: Winter Soldier and Falcon, WandaVision, and Loki. Winter Soldier and Falcon is going to be coming out late 2020. It shows Sam training with the Shield. It shows him getting pretty good with accuracy, throwing at a tree and getting it stuck in there. So I think he's getting pretty good with it. It shows Bucky face-to-face with Baron Zemo, which I think is pretty cool because it's also rumored that Baron Zemo is going to have the purple hood this season, during the show. And didn't
they like lock him up or something or put him in prison? So
he was locked up, so he can very easily have escaped, especially with the dusting.
Okay.
So, but it also leads you to wonder, did Zemo find a new way to control Bucky through the Wakandan tech?
Yeah.
Because Zemo's a very smart individual.
Yeah.
So he could have. But it also showed WandaVision. It shows several different versions of Wanda, which I think is pretty cool because they have the multiverse. It shows the original costume. It's gonna tie into Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah.
That's coming out sometime in 2020. It didn't say late or early, so it'll just be out, I guess, when it comes out.
Yeah.
And then Loki coming out in early 2021, and all it showed was him looking to be in a prison and taunting whoever's there.
Yeah. So
which is very Loki-esque.
Yeah. Do you think that he's gonna be like an anti-hero type thing? Is it gonna be like a Joker type thing?
I don't know what they're planning on doing with this. I really hope that they're going to go back to the character development he had before he died in Infinity War, because the Loki they're basing this off of, to my understanding, is the Loki that was shown in Endgame that created the new timeline when he escaped with the Tesseract.
Oh, I forgot about that.
So if they do that, I'm hoping they show that string of how he progresses, or just show him go through and causing chaos.
Yeah, either one would be very entertaining, I believe.
Well, with all that being said, we will wish everyone a wonderful Wednesday night. Yeah. Good night, y'all.
Yeah, stay safe, Bridgewater. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Really really enjoyed that segment just about entertainment, especially the Disney Plus trailers, and I'm so excited for the shows. But thank you, Adam Lorfink and Joe Caron, just for coming on and talking just about all the entertainment that's going on, especially with the Oscars coming up Sunday. Well, I just want to thank all y'all for listening in to this midweek radio show. I really, really appreciate you all. You're listening to it on bcvoice.org. If you're interested in coming and just being a part of BC Voice, whether this is the radio show or just you want to write some articles or just be a part of the club as a whole, we meet on Mondays at 5 o'clock in Bowman, believe in the basement, Bowman 24, if y'all want to head out. But I hope you all have a great night, and we will see y'all next week.